The wedding cars met. And the bride in the other car was my husband's close female friend. At the moment of exchanging bouquets, the female friend lowered her voice. I didn't ruin your wedding. You know, but Emily, guess what? If he sees that I'm getting married, will your wedding even go on? With a crash, my bouquet smashed hard onto her face. Sarah Johnson cried out in pain, covering her nose. She shrank back into the car. John Smith was furious and shocked. What are you hitting her for? Sarah did as promised. She didn't ruin our wedding at all. He hurriedly got out of the car, helped Sarah up and fussed over her. Her eyes filled with tears. She loudly accused me. How dare you hit me? Is it only you who can get married? And not others? Do you believe I'll expose you online? Emily was wronged. But the man in the other wedding car seemed not to see, quietly acting like a decoration. John's face looked a bit ugly. He questioned her. Are you crazy? You don't even have a boyfriend. And you're just finding someone random to hold a wedding. Do you see? Now that you're hit. This man doesn't even care about you. Sarah didn't dare to speak, tears dropping onto her skirt. I just thought you were getting married. And from now on, I have to keep my distance in everything I do. I'm really sad. I just wanted to find someone to be with me. Do anything. Her voice choked up. John's face grew darker as he listened. He glanced disdainfully at the man in the car. He threw the bouquet to the ground. Damn it. Sarah. I won't get married. I won't get married and I'll be with you. Okay. Scattered petals fell onto my shoes. I didn't say anything. John looked up at me. Emily. Sarah has been let down by her family since childhood and has no sense of security. She really can't do without me. Otherwise, let's postpone our wedding. He didn't finish. I smiled. A crappy BYD car, with 3 people in the back seat. Aren't you crowded? I pulled the driver out of my wedding car. Got in myself. The groom in the other car changed expression. He hurriedly got out, waving his hands in panic. The car is mine. This young lady hired me for $800 for a fake elopement. Don't mess with my car. Sarah's eyes were red, looking extremely humiliated. Sister Emily, I promised not to ruin your wedding. So I just thought to marry someone random. Is it not okay for me to be with someone else? Anger surged inside me. I looked at John. Even though you clearly know it's her trick, you still indulge her. Not going through with the wedding. Right. The man didn't respond, but he gripped Sarah's hand tighter. The wind was howling. Sarah hugged her arm with one hand. John sighed. The air conditioning in this car is bad. Emily, let Sarah get in our car first. And I'll explain to you slowly on the way. Okay. Before he finished speaking, cars drove up from afar. Doors slammed bang bang bang. A string of men over 6 feet tall got out of the cars and looked at me. I smashed into the other wedding car with full force, under the deafening noise. Sarah Johnson paled. Only when that car turned into a heap of scrap metal did I finally vent my anger. Stepping down with a bright smile. Sorry about that. It's a tradition from my hometown when wedding cars meet. It's like stealing luck. But my husband is rich, so he can pay you 20 times the damage. Here, just talk to him. Following my pointed finger, John Smith's face turned livid. Emily Wilson, are you crazy? I clapped my hands. Not crazy at all. These are my guy friends. They've had a bit of a temper since childhood and love smashing things. What's the matter? I can tolerate your girlfriends. So why can't you tolerate my guy friends? John knew full well I was making it up, just as he was aware this was Sarah's scheme. Yet he couldn't stand Sarah sitting there in her wedding dress with another man. Even though we were engaged at 18. Even though he once kissed me devoutly. And after our first time, he swore he'd never change his heart toward me in this lifetime. I studied abroad for 4 years. When I returned, he brought Sarah to pick me up at the airport. She eyed me curiously. So, you're John's fiancé. They all say life abroad is chaotic. With both men and women having STDs. Emily, did you get checked before coming back? After she said that, the atmosphere froze. Sarah belatedly covered her mouth. Emily, don't get me wrong. I was just thinking of John's health. I meant no harm to you. It was clearly a malicious assumption. John acted like he didn't hear it. He took my luggage and patted her head with a laugh. Nonsense. Emily wouldn't catch anything like that. Sarah stuck out her tongue and hopped onto my suitcase. John. The first was just worried about you. John saw nothing wrong with it. He wrapped an arm around my waist and pulled Sarah along as we walked out. Emily, what do you want to eat? How about I cook for you myself? You have no idea, over these years, I've become a great cook for this little troublemaker. He stopped mid-sentence, looking startled at my frozen stance. Emily, what's wrong? I stared at Sarah. 1 second. 2 seconds. She suddenly jumped off. Flustered. Sorry. I'm so used to being with John. The first forgot this suitcase was yours. I never imagined John would have someone with such clumsy acting around him. Yet he frowned at me. Emily. She's always been careless like this. She means no harm to you at all. Once you two spend more time together. I cut him off. Inside are gifts I brought back. Worth about 300,000 yuan. If anything's damaged, which one of you is paying? John Smith was stunned. Sarah Johnson also turned pale. I really didn't mean it. Over 30,000. Even if you hate me, you shouldn't try to scam me. John also tried to persuade me. Sarah is light. She couldn't break anything by sitting on it. I thought since you just returned to the country and might not have many friends, I brought Sarah to keep you company. Emily Wilson. Why do I feel like you have a problem with her? At the airport. We parted unhappily. Later. I heard from a friend that during the years I was studying abroad, Sarah appeared in his life like a resilient little flower. She had good grades, worked part-time to support herself, absolutely refused any donations from John. The two of them grew closer. And John even tried to bring Sarah into our circle. The friend paused here, looked at my expression. None of us dared to tell you. After all, they both claimed to be good friends, good buddies to the outside world, but they would go on trips together. Ahem. We also had our suspicions, but if it's really a misunderstanding, it's hard to explain. After that, I cut off all contact with John. He frantically contacted me, explaining his relationship with Sarah, swearing over and over that he only saw Sarah as an ordinary pal. These vows, I didn't believe any of them, but I still agreed to his marriage proposal made during the swearing. The reason was, John was willing to sign a stock gift agreement. He wrote a guarantee, if he cheated physically or emotionally, after divorce, the gift would still have legal effect. Before the wedding, he brought Sarah to me. The young girl had red eyes. Emily, John is a good person. You must not make him sad. Probably to reassure me, John demanded that Sarah promise she had no dirty thoughts about him, and would not in any way disrupt my and John's wedding. That day, Sarah smiled weakly and dejectedly. As a woman, I felt a bit of sympathy. Not to mention John. Since childhood, he's been so sentimental. The 13th day of the 12th lunar month. A good day for marriage. A good day for contracts. What a fine day. 8 cars returned to the hotel. Guests mingled. 2 fireworks went off and then stopped. Everyone was curious why only the bride appeared at this wedding. Step by step, I walked to the center of the stage. When the spotlight hit, I picked up the microphone. Hello everyone. Welcome all guests to witness today. On the screen, our legal marriage certificate appeared. Then, footage of John getting into another bride's car. They drove away, but I didn't cry, because the last image on the screen was a notarized stock transfer agreement. Absurd. My father-in-law shouted. The entire hall was in a complete mess. I clapped my hands. and the prepared dishes filed in one by one. I hope all the guests will be satisfied with today's delicacies. Almost everyone in the Smith family who had a say was present. John Smith and Sarah Johnson were standing in the middle. She was wearing a wedding dress, curling her fingers, looking extremely nervous. John couldn't help but shield her behind him. The wedding is just postponed, not cancelled. There's no need to treat people like criminals. After he finished speaking, he turned to me. Emily, I thought you had vented your anger. The Smith family didn't dare to tell the truth. But I still knew that when these two received the call from the Smith family. They were at the amusement park. The woman was in a wedding dress. The man said that he wanted to make up for all the joys she missed in her childhood. How romantic. I didn't say a word. And my father-in-law was so angry that he smashed the ashtray. You scoundrel. You say postpone the wedding whenever you want. Do you take this kind of thing as a joke? The ashtray landed too close to John's instep. Sarah trembled and, with tears in her eyes, stepped in front of him. I'm sorry, Uncle. It's all because of me that I've delayed Ian's wedding. I really couldn't hold back my laughter. Everyone present was an elder who was well versed in human nature in the business world. I didn't expect that she would still act in such a situation. Sure enough, without me saying anything, my mother-in-law frowned, and two people stood beside Sarah on each side. Miss, the Smith family is dealing with family affairs. Please leave first. Sarah's voice faltered. Several emotions like stubbornness, indignation, and shock kept switching on her face. What? My assistant kindly told her. Miss, the real wealthy circle won't allow you to cross classes with your flirting skills. Afraid that the Smith family members wouldn't take action. The assistant even pulled her. No one in the wealthy family has time to deal with you. Before shoving Sarah out, my little assistant whispered an addition. Except for the people in the wealthy family. Of course. The door closed. John's expression remained ugly for a while before he helplessly looked at me. Emily, don't you even trust me? Having nowhere to sit, he slowly squatted in front of me, raising one hand. I just think Sarah had a very pitiful childhood. She lost her father when she was very young and didn't know what it was like to be loved. That's why she desperately grabs every bit of warmth. I swear, I just regarded being kind to her as a good deed. Emily, can you understand? In the hall, no one said a word. Everyone was waiting for my reaction. I smiled, looking understanding. Of course I can understand. Your good deed is to be someone's father. I asked my little assistant for the list of the Wilson family's charity organizations. If you have such a hobby, you can also donate a little fatherly love to our family's orphanage. His expression cracked. Emily Wilson, can't you understand it all? John Smith was in agony. I'm willing to give you the shares, even my life. He held my hand, trembling slightly. We're both people who have been through storms. Emily, can't you let me hold an umbrella for others? I knew what he meant. Neglect from our original families leads to a lack of love in children. Only by grasping someone's unconditional affection can we find relief. When we were kids, John clung to me tightly, so he was always attached to me. When I went abroad, he was teary-eyed. Emily, I'll visit you whenever I have time. In the first and second years, he frequently flew across the ocean. Later, he always said he was busy and never came to see me. Now that I'm back in the country, I finally understand what he was busy with. Recalling this, I smiled gently and appropriately. Of course I understand your feelings. You just want to offer warmth to those less fortunate. John, go ahead. His eyes lit up. I knew it. As husband and wife, we're one, and you'd understand me. Nonsense. My father-in-law snapped. John licked his lips. Dad, you never cared for me growing up. This time, I have to follow my heart. He dashed off. No need to say. I knew he was chasing after Sarah Johnson. My in-laws shouted, promising to give the Wilson family an explanation. Before leaving, I sat beside my father. Like a dutiful daughter-in-law. My father-in-law just secured the South City project yesterday. So he'll be very busy. Don't make him rush to discipline his son. My father paused. His smile was natural. I understand, Dad. The South City project progressed steadily under the Wilson family's leadership. As a reward, my father transferred a prime retail space on the commercial street to my name. When I signed the last document, a video call request popped up from John, my assistant, holding a folder, tactfully stepped aside. On screen, John's voice was deliberate. I'm taking Sarah back to her hometown for a few days to revisit the warmth we missed as kids. Then he'll be back. He paused, watching my expression. When I return, we'll hold our wedding. Sarah has promised to treat you like a real sister-in-law and bless our union. My gaze stayed on the contract. I tapped lightly with my fingertip. He seemed to relax, testing me. You aren't angry, are you? The video shook abruptly as Sarah snatched the phone. Her smiling face filled the screen. Sis, please don't be mad. When we get back, we'll bring you some local specialties. Then I'll give John permission to pamper you until you're all better. Stop talking nonsense. John cut her off. Grabbing the phone back, Sarah stuck out her tongue. Got it. I'll go pack John. Should I bring this underwear for you? Look. It matches the bikini you gave me. John's face changed. He stammered. Don't misunderstand. Emily. I'll call you later. The video ended abruptly. The office suddenly fell silent. The assistant hesitated. Sis. Our people captured Sarah Johnson, moving into John Smith's place. The pen fell on the desk with a soft sound. I was silent for a moment. The South City Development Project. Come with me to follow up. The plane landed. John and Sarah hadn't arrived yet. They were taking the green train. Sarah seemed to be enjoying the journey. She quietly turned a kidnapping post in the forum into an account documenting their daily life as a couple. The latest update was a close-up of tightly clasped hands. Caption: When I was a child on the green train, my mother would only pull my brother in. This time, there's a hand that will hold me tight too. No faces shown. On the man's ring finger was the engagement ring. When I finished the latest report on the South City project, their train still hadn't arrived. Sarah's account updated again. This time it was a short video with a warm filter and emotional music. She wrote, all the love missing from childhood. Fate will send another person to repay you with interest. The likes soared. The comment section was flooded with blessings. Get married already. This is what true love looks like. The couple is meant to be together. Lock them in. Sarah replied separately to the meant to be comment with a shy emoji. He. It was clear she was genuinely happy. The bustling noise of the train station couldn't drown out her cheers. On the suitcase, Sarah raised her hands high. John. Thank you. The man's ears turned slightly red as he pulled her forward. As long as you're happy. Between the two of them, even the air was pink. Unfortunately, their pink bubble was burst by reality the next second. 3 pairs of eyes met. The bustling train station fell silent. John's expression instantly stiffened. Emily. What are you doing here? I smiled. What a coincidence. Scared the soul out of you. The two people's luggage was crammed into one suitcase. Sarah jumped down from the suitcase, pulling on John's sleeve. She explained. Sister Emily, I didn't expect you to follow us here. I've gotten down. I won't let John pull me. So please don't make a scene. Okay. John frowned and suggested to me. Emily, let's find a quiet place to talk. Okay. In the cafe. He explained. I just took her back to my hometown for a trip. Sarah, like us, was an overlooked child when she was young. She always wanted to go to the park. But her mother only took her brother. I took a sip of coffee. It was so bad I frowned. John continued explaining. Her family's situation is poor. They couldn't even provide material comforts. Emily. Sarah hasn't done anything wrong. Her life shouldn't be full of regrets. I sat up straight and looked directly into John Smith's eyes. So, are you the hero who saved her? John looked away, somewhat guilty. Sarah Johnson stood up abruptly, tears welling up in her eyes. Do you have to be so aggressive? My brother married you, and you brought so many strangers to smash the car. But he didn't blame you. Do you have to chase us back to our hometown? Do we have to die for you to stop? Instantly, it drew everyone's attention in the coffee shop. Nosy people were already pulling out their phones. I smiled sweetly. Sweetie, you've misunderstood. Even though you and my husband aren't blood-related, as your sister-in-law, I can't just ignore you. I took out a brand new, unopened condom and pushed it toward her. He likes this scent. Take it with you tonight. Don't let there be any accidents. The onlookers gasped. Holy shit. What a twist. This time, even those who hadn't recorded before took out their phones. Sarah's face flushed red. You're slandering me. Who said John and I would take that thing? Before I could speak, someone nearby exclaimed. The way you address each other has changed. You're not really siblings. Without that thing. Damn. Intimate contact. How arrogant. Being the mistress and blaming the wife. Film her face. Sarah panicked, grabbing John and trying to leave. Suddenly, someone in the crowd shouted. I know her, she's a relationship blogger. Earlier, she posted about what to do when the person you like is getting married. Someone suggested crashing the wedding. And she live-streamed herself in a wedding dress doing it. Could that man be him? As everyone knows, my assistant is quite naive. The young girl heard the doubts and pulled up the wedding video. Yes. My sister is the one whose wedding was crashed. The wife, she said, pointing at me and chatting enthusiastically with passers-by. Sarah panicked, trying to flee but was blocked by the furious crowd. John stared at me, disappointment clear. Emily Wilson, why did you bring the condom out here? Are you just going to watch a bunch of outsiders bully Sarah? I sneered and stepped closer. John, even you forgot the cameras in your apartment are linked to my phone. Since you know this many people are here, you should understand why I gave you the condom. Now you're playing innocent. Do you want me to export the footage for everyone to watch and listen together? His expression froze. He snapped out of it and looked at me awkwardly. Emily, it's not what you think between us. Meanwhile, the little assistant got more excited. Her phone slipped. And suddenly the video started playing. The camera was still some distance away from the bathroom. So, only faintly could two figures be seen entangled together. The woman's voice seductive. She shouted, Daddy. Harder. I sneered. John Smith. I finally understand why you insisted on giving her the warmth she lacked in childhood. He was flustered, unable to speak. After a long while, he explained to me in a tense voice. That day, I just thought she resembled you a bit. I couldn't tell the difference for a moment. My expression turned colder bit by bit. I never expected John to say something even more shameless than I imagined. The evidence is out. John, I want a divorce with you. In just one night. Posts about Sarah Johnson and their steamy bathroom video had already spread like wildfire. The heat remained high. The Smith family suppressed it again and again, but as soon as one wave of heat subsided, another immediately rose. People all over the internet sympathized with the original wife. Crossing a city. Turns out the original wife was here to deliver condoms. Probably different customs. Over here, a father and his daughter can't be together. Resourceful netizens. They dug out all the identities of John and Sarah. The Smith family became famous. Along with me. Everyone knew that the heiress of the Wilson family was the cheated-in original wife. My assistant advised me to seize the opportunity to open an account, saying it might be more profitable than doing business. She said with a beaming smile, Emily, you have no idea. Marketing accounts love this kind of drama. Posting such videos. Their accounts can gain some benefits. I smiled. Double the pay for every extra in the cafe. Got it. My assistant responded happily. The lawyer compiled all the evidence of John's infidelity. Formally. On my behalf. He filed for divorce against John. What a pity. John hadn't even had a chance to enjoy the scenery of Nanchang before he frantically followed me back. He wanted to see me but was always turned away at the door by the Wilson family. Before this, as the only child of the Smith family, he had been neglected just because his parents were busy with their careers. He couldn't take it anymore. To spite me, he went out partying. Sarah ran to find him, forbidding him from ruining himself, crying and hugging his waist, insisting that John go home. A private detective filmed a video. It quickly became a hot topic again. How lively. The Nanchang project was launched. My own studio became busy again. From time to time, I still had to go to the Smith family to review the quarterly earnings. I was really busy. Occasionally, I would take some time to have a few drinks with my over 6-foot male best friend whom I had rarely seen since childhood. To unwind, Sarah bought the video and posted it on her own thread, to prove that she wasn't a homewrecker, that she genuinely admired John. Word by word, with a subtle writing style, she tells the misfortunes of her childhood. She says John Smith is her only light, and she, in turn, was his only salvation when John was betrayed by his sweetheart. Clearly, the two of them are a perfect match. The netizens this time are really something. It seems like the delusions before someone gets poisoned from eating too much bad food. A perfect match. The two of them are married with a marriage certificate. Sister, if it weren't for you making a scene at the wedding, their wedding would have been over and the baby would have had its full moon party. So, for your misfortune to turn into happiness, you have to have this guy who can accompany you in every aspect. I'm literally dying of laughter. Let alone that the sister is just having a drink with a few male friends. Even if she's with some guys. What does it matter to you? Search for something on YouTube. Right. My sister just wants all the good-looking guys to be happy out of kindness. Well, she hasn't made the mistake that all women make. What's the big deal? Friendly reminder. We're all outsiders. We can't make things difficult for Sarah. Otherwise, that guy will question the original wife and say, you just watch a bunch of outsiders making things difficult for Sarah. Yuck. It seems like all the internet keyboard warriors around the world have suddenly emerged. It's really heartwarming. I opened an account and didn't do any marketing. I just posted one line. Thank you. My online sisters. The online storm has caused quite a stir. The Smith Group has inevitably suffered some losses. However, as a big enterprise, it has a solid foundation. The Smith Group issued an apology statement and stated that John Smith's personal relationship has nothing to do with the company. My father-in-law is extremely smart. Taking this opportunity, during an interview, he said, there's another son in the family. He's been protected and hasn't shown up for these years. It was an ambiguous statement. Everyone is speculating whether the heir of the Smith family is going to be changed. There's been a huge change in the Smith family. My mother-in-law never knew that my father-in-law had a teenage child outside. There have been a lot of arguments. She no longer has the mood to care about John. Maybe he was healed by the gentle embrace. After getting his emotions in order, he came to me again. This time, he calculated the time and blocked me in the parking lot. Emily, he said, I never thought about separating from you. In my eyes, our wedding was just postponed. But I've long regarded you as the one. He looked pained. I really didn't think I'd have a relationship with another woman. I regretted it as soon as I sobered up. I thought that after compensating Sarah, we'd get married. I'd definitely live a good life with you. We've known each other since childhood. In the empty parking lot, his voice echoed, filled with indescribable despair and shrillness. Compared to when he was 18, he's a completely different person. Maybe it was because I stopped walking that gave him hope. He took a few steps forward and tried to hug me, but was pushed away by the security guards who rushed over. John was broken. He questioned me. But you're not the only one around me either. From the beginning, I never thought about scheming against you. I gave you the shares, my sincere heart, and my love. Those guys who smashed the car and drank with you. There were so many men around you. You're not any better either. Emily. Can't you think about how much I love you? Don't be so heartless. My assistant opened the car door ahead of time. Before getting in the car, I glanced at him and only asked one question. Did I tell you to sleep with Sarah? Of course not. Unfortunately, he had already slept with her. And there was no going back. The agreement came into effect, and the equity was in my hands. Our ending could only be divorce. After all, just getting involved in the company. He managed to cause such a big mess. What the elder Mr. Smith said couldn't have just been about making the illegitimate child public. John was already a useless piece, holding a portion of the Smith family's equity. I didn't want to see the Smith family's stock price drop. So, when the Smith family tried to clean up their mess again, I cooperated and posted a video. I congratulated the Wilson family on the successful completion of their project in the south of the city. The girls on the internet immediately understood that the Wilson and Smith families had reached a reconciliation and stopped fighting. But although the storm had passed, people had memories. Sarah, a tenacious college student, became well known before she even graduated. Her social media account, which used to be recording love, turned into a green tea warning record for netizens to visit and check in. Oh. It had been screenshotted. Deleting it was useless. No company dared to hire her. Her resumes disappeared into thin air. Occasionally, when there was an interview, the HR would always casually ask, "Are you the same person as the one on the internet?" She had no other choice but to cling to John. She pestered him to get a position at Smith Group. But she probably forgot. I am also one of the shareholders of Smith Group. The day I saw her at Smith Group, coincidentally, I was there to look at the annual financial report. Everyone in the company knew it was because of this woman that Smith Group almost got into a crisis. No one was willing to help her when she was bullied too much. She argued with her supervisor with red eyes. "Why don't the others have to go? This isn't part of my job. But you're making me do it. You're bullying me. Do you want me to be forced to quit and sue you at the labor arbitration?" Just like this. She was an innocent little white flower in front of men, but showed her fangs in front of women. I walked over, and the sound of my high heels echoed. Those who recognized me quickly greeted me. "Ms. Wilson." Sarah bit her lip. Extremely stubborn. I smiled faintly. Add another $1,000 to her salary and send her to clean the men's restroom. Oh, right. Make sure to write on the door that people with diabetes are not allowed to enter. Someone couldn't hold back their laughter. She trembled all over, and tears rolled down one by one. "You can't hold on to your man. What kind of a skill is it to bully me?" I was in a good mood. I rarely gave her a piece of advice. A woman's skills aren't meant to be used in snatching men. The junior assistant followed me and sweetly called out, "Ms. Emily." After visiting the Smiths company, we still need to go back to the office to check this year's profit. Sarah burst into tears. John didn't want a divorce, but the evidence of his affair was conclusive, whether he liked it or not. He had to get divorced. On the day the divorce certificate was issued, he was in disbelief and trembled all over. "Emily, are you even going to abandon me? I only had an affair with Sarah once. Just once. We were in different countries. I'm not even sure if you've ever betrayed me. Are you going to sentence me to death for just one time?" Desperately, he dug his fingers into his scalp. "Why did it turn out like this?" "I was just doing a good deed. Is it wrong to do a good deed?" I stared at him expressionlessly. "Doing a good deed isn't wrong. But what you've done isn't kindness. It's something else." Before he could understand, I closed the car door. blocking out his desperate cries after he finally realized what had happened. The pure love of youth had changed over time, tainted with so many disgusting things. After that, for a long time, I didn't hear anything about Sarah and John, until the Smith family held a banquet. Under the pretext of a family dinner, they officially announced their 18-year-old heir. When he smiled, he looked so much like John in his youth, as the eldest son. As soon as he showed up, he locked his eyes on me. Emily. From afar, I could read his lips. Sarah was beside him, gently tugging at his arm with pursed lips. After all, she was a smart woman. She had her ways to keep John with her. I averted my eyes, raised my glass to the people around me, and downed it in one gulp. Then I never looked into John's eyes again. He had been abandoned by his family, but I hadn't. Getting close to someone like him was just bad luck. Later, I heard that John and Sarah had left here and gone to a second-tier city with a lower cost of living. The last bit of protection the Smith family gave him was probably just enough for them to maintain a decent life. My assistant would sometimes gossip and tell me that Sarah had tried to integra TE into the local housewives circle but kept hitting a wall. She also told me how John ran around for various projects. He claimed he wanted to start from the bottom to prove to his family that he still had something. But after only working at 2 entry-level positions, the sparkle in his eyes was gone. The assistant understood. This jerk. Do you really think it's that easy? Probably watched too many underdog success stories. Seriously. Although she was scolding him, she really hit the nail on the head about the beginning of the story. Back then, his parents were busy with their careers and neglected him. Only the two of us lived close by. When I was just starting to understand things, I heard that when I grew up, I might have to marry into the Smith family. Later, I downloaded pirated novels. I selected them one by one and read them to him. Sometimes they were about underdog success stories. Other times, they were about sudden redemption and beautiful love that followed. He listened with great interest, and he got used to me always being by his side. But he didn't know, at the age when I was secretly reading novels at home. I hid under the covers and secretly read romance novels by an author named Ayun on Quora Premium. I really liked those logical perspectives. People are born to please themselves, especially in terms of sexuality. We should create our own world.